Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy HNA back with a brand new video, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys my all-time Premier League XI. Make sure you smash a thumbs up on the video and also subscribe to the channel as well. So this is probably the hardest team which I've ever had to select. I'm gonna be going with a 4-4-2 formation just so I can fit in two strikers, because I know a lot of people do tend to go for the 4-3-3. However, you can only have one striker. So my goalkeeper for this team has to be the one and only Peter Schmeichel. I mean, this guy was just a world class. Like, he literally was the best keeper in the world when he was at Manchester United. He won 5 Premier League titles, and he was also part of that treble winning side in 1999. When Schmeichel was at United, he got loads of appearances, not only in the Premier League Team of the Year, but also for the World Team of the Year as well. Some of the saves that Schmeichel made during his time at United were just ridiculous.
Crossed it again and a good one. And not it down! A wonderful save by Schmeichel!
Like, how did he have the reflexes to pull off them saves? And I also believe he scored a goal in the Premier League when he was at Aston Villa.
Staunton with it, almost fell for Schmeichel, does! And it's in! Peter Schmeichel scores for Aston Villa!
But either way guys, Schmeichel was a fantastic goalie and he absolutely deserves his place in this team. I was pretty close to picking Petr Cech, however, I felt like at their peaks, Schmeichel was the better player. And also there's been some other good goalies in the league, such as Van der Sar, David De Gea, Pepe Reina, David Seaman, but for me it has to be Schmeichel. Now, right back was probably the most easiest position in this team, and in right back I'm going to put Gary Neville. I mean, Gary Neville consistently for about 15 years was one of the best right backs in the Premier League. He may have had a lot of injuries and may not have been the most talented player, but I felt what he did at the back was pretty underrated, and I feel that no right back comes close to him. I do think that one day in the future Trent Alexander-Arnold will probably be better than Gary Neville. However, I don't think Trent's hit his peak yet, and Gary Neville was one of the best right backs in the Premier League and arguably in the world for the best part of a decade. Now, the two centre backs which I'm gonna pick in my team are gonna be first and foremost John Terry, who I believe is the best defender in the Premier League all time, and the second defender is gonna be Nemanja Vidic. I mean, let's start off with Terry, guys, who was an absolute rock at the back for Chelsea during the time he spent there. I mean, he was part of that 04-05 team which only conceded 15 goals. That is actually the record for the least amount of goals conceded in a Premier League season, and Terry was a massive part of that. He did win 5 Premier League titles at Chelsea, and he also won the Champions League as well. And he wasn't just like a defender who was pretty solid at the back, which I know he was, but he also chipped in with quite a few goals during his career. So yeah, I definitely think that I can't miss out John Terry. As for the other centre back, I've gone with Nemanja Vidic just because I think he had the heart of a lion. He literally wasn't afraid of anything. He would rather have someone kick his head than concede a goal. Like Terry, Vidic also won 5 league titles, and he did actually get the Player of the Year, I think, for the 08-09 season. He was an absolute inspiration at the back, great leader, and he wasn't afraid to go in for a tackle, so that's why I put Vidic in this team. In left back, another position which was fairly easy, and I've gone for Ashley Cole in that position. I mean, Ashley Cole was just outstanding during his Premier League career, won 3 league titles including the 03-04 title which he won with Arsenal, which Arsenal finished as invincibles that season. During the 2000s, I'd probably say Ashley Cole was the best left back in the world. He was just so good for Chelsea and for Arsenal, and yeah, he was pretty good attacking wise as well, like better going forward than Gary Neville was. And yeah, like he just had a great career. I think he edges out the likes of Patrice Evra and Dennis Irwin. Now in right mid, I feel that this is probably gonna be controversial, but I'm gonna go with Cristiano Ronaldo. During his time at Man United, Ronaldo actually won 3 league titles all in a row from 2007 to 9, and he also won the Champions League at Old Trafford as well. Like if you look at Ronaldo's Premier League stats, he was getting either a goal or an assist every 2 Premier League matches. It just shows you how good he was even as a youngster. And let's not forget, he did also win a Ballon d'Or whilst he was playing for Man United in 2008, which I just think puts him like ahead of the likes of Salah and David Beckham. Now the 2 centre mids in this team, this was probably the hardest position to pick, but first and foremost I've gone for Frank Lampard, who I believe was the best midfielder in the Premier League. Lampard is actually the 5th highest scorer in Premier League history with 177 Premier League goals, and he's actually the 4th highest assister in the Premier League. He's got more than 100 assists. For a midfielder to produce them kinds of numbers is just mad to think about, and he only won 3 league titles, which I think is a bit less than he deserves. But nevertheless, guys, you can't underestimate the impact that Lampard had on Chelsea. He was just such a good player, probably the best midfielder in the world. And as for Paul Scholes, I put him in there because he's won 11 Premier League titles. He's a serial winner. He also got more than 100 Premier League goals. He is arguably one of the best players in the Premier League of all time, Paul Scholes. Definitely one of the best at Man United. And yeah, he was just such a good player. And for all of you Liverpool fans who are crying in the comment section saying why didn't you put Steven Gerrard in, I can't put in someone who hasn't won a league title. Gerrard was at Liverpool for 17 years, so he should have at least 1 league title. And Gerrard might have like more goals than Scholes, but in terms of Scholes didn't play that much minutes compared to Gerrard, so Scholes actually scores a goal in less time than Steven Gerrard. Also, a good 30 of Steven Gerrard's goal came from the penalty spot, and Scholes didn't take any penalties in his Premier League career, so that is another reason why Scholes is better than Gerrard. I do have to include some other good Premier League midfielders who missed out, the likes of Patrick Vieira, Yaya Toure, De Bruyne, Cesc Fabregas, David Silva, who are all great Premier League players, but I feel that Scholes and Lampard are probably the best central midfield players in the league. In left mid, I've included the most successful player in Premier League history with 13 league titles in 20 years, and that is Ryan Giggs. What a player. He holds the record for the most assists in the Premier League, which is 162 assists, and he did actually get more than 100 goals in the league, which is pretty good as well. Giggs actually did score a goal in the opening 20 Premier League seasons, so he scored at least 1 goal in each and every of the first 20 Premier League seasons. For a player to keep going out and winning league titles or challenging for league titles every single year, it just takes a world-class player to do that. Now the first striker which I'm gonna include in my team has to be Thierry Henry, arguably the best Premier League player of all time. a true great servant in the Premier League, Thierry Henry was, who did score 175 goals in the league, and he did actually get quite a few assists as well. And I feel that the reason he didn't get more goals was because he didn't play like a lot of games compared to the likes of Rooney and Alan Shearer and Andy Cole, who did play a lot more games than him. Henry did go on to win 2 Premier League titles at Arsenal. He also was part of that invincible team, a massive part of that, where he got 30 goals and 9 assists that season. And the season before, which I think he did better in, actually 20 goals, 20 assists. He's the only Premier League player to get at least 20 goals and 20 assists in a season. Now, when I watch videos of Henry on YouTube, I'll be thinking, how does he do the stuff he does? Like, some of the skills and like the tricks he has in his locker, no other player can do them. I mean, he is so gifted and so talented, and so like we're so lucky to have him play in the Premier League. And now in strike, the final position, the final player in this team has to be Sergio
Aguero!
4 Premier League titles, 180 Premier League goals, the best goals to game ratio out of any player in the Premier League. Like, as a United fan, I have to salute this guy because the impact he's had on Man City, helping them from a team who are literally known before 2008 to winning 4 league titles. Man City have challenged for the league title every year since Aguero's been at the club. Like, every year they finished in the top 4 at least. Had Aguero not got injured during his time, because he did pick up quite a lot of injuries, I do actually think he would have beaten Alan Shearer's Premier League all-time goal record, which is 260. I don't think that Aguero will go on to beat it, because he is 32 now, and he's still got 80 goals to score, so I definitely don't think he'd beat it. But for sure he has to be in that team, like ahead of the likes of Shearer and Rooney, because the amount of games they play, like I would have expected them to score like at least 300 goals. For Aguero to get 180 in like less than 300 matches is just insane. And of course, to manage this great Premier League team has to be a great Premier League manager, and the manager I'm picking for this team has to be Sir Alex Ferguson. 13 league titles, the best manager in history, I believe. So yeah, that's why I'm picking him. So yeah, that's been it, guys. That was my all-time Premier League team. Let me know in the comment section below what you would change or what your all-time Premier League team is. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.